one of the big fights that the fans have been talking about, and the fans have all been waiting for David Benavidez and Demetrius Andrade to both fight somebody. And it looks like that they just might be fighting each other next before the year ends, y'all. But before we get into this, make sure that y'all hit my like button and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subbed to the channel. I got some real big news today, and shout out to L-Dub Boxing for always having the latest breaking news. But before we get into that big news, let's talk about the events leading up to this news. Now, we all know a while back, earlier this year, we was hearing a lot of talks of David Benavidez and Demetrius Andrade. David Benavidez, he did several interviews, and he called out Demetrius Andrade. He said, look, Demetrius Andrade is a fight that I would love to, Demetrius Andrade is a fight that I would love to have. Demetrius Andrade is going to be at 168, and we need to get it on because I want to fight all of the top guys in my division. And I love the Demetrius Andrade fight. I got a lot of respect for him, and I think it'll be a great fight for the fans to see, me and Demetrius Andrade. So he called out Demetrius Andrade. And Demetrius Andrade, he also responded, and he said it was a fight that he wouldn't have no problem with. Well, right after that, Samson Legowicz, right, and that is the manager of David Benavidez, he came and he did an interview, and he said, nah, we don't want to fight Demetrius Andrade. He's a boring fighter. He's going to make the fight difficult. He's not going to want to engage with David Benavidez. And you know what? If we fought him, we'll ask for more money than we would to fight Canelo Alvarez. Now, that was David Benavidez's manager that said that. That wasn't David Benavidez. So everybody got on David Benavidez's helmet. Everybody was making videos saying that David Benavidez was ducking Demetrius Andrade. He's afraid of Demetrius Andrade. Why Demetrius Andrade can't get nobody to fight him, and so on and so on. Well, like David Benavidez does, right? He came right out and he shut all of that shit up. He says, look, my manager Samson, he doesn't speak for me. What he's saying is some bullshit. I want to fight with Demetrius Andrade, right? I didn't say that. That was my manager. I don't know what he was talking about. I don't need a whole bunch of money to fight Andrade. I just want to fight him because I want to fight the best and I want competition. So whatever he was saying, it wasn't me. It didn't come out of my mouth. And so I was telling people like, hey, stop running with what you heard David Benavidez's manager say because he ain't said out of his mouth. So, he cleared it up. But after that, we didn't really hear too much about the fight. Demetrius Andrade, he was caught up in a situation to where he had to fight Janibek, right? Because Janibek was the mandatory for his title that he had at 160. Well, Demetrius Andrade, he pulled out the fight. They put him back in the situation to where he was going to have to fight Janibek. He decided that he was going to want to fight Zach Parker at 168. So recently, he pulled out of the Zach Parker fight. So Demetrius Andrade has been pulling out of fight after fight. And he's been turning down the smoke with everybody that seems like that they're going to be tough competition. And so myself, I said, man, what the hell is going on with Demetrius Andrade? When is he going to fight somebody? He pretty much done now. That's what I'm thinking. But I just got news. The reason that Demetrius Andrade pulled out of the Zach Parker fight, his recent fight that he pulled out, the reason they pulled out is because we all know that the fight was going to purse bid. According to Team Andrade, the purse bid amount that he was going to have to fight for was just ridiculous. So they ended up pulling out of the Zach Parker fight. So it's pretty much like people were saying, what is Demetrius Andrade going to do? Also, on the other end, David Benavidez, he thought that he was going to be fighting David Morrell, but David Morrell's management and his team says that he's not ready for a David Benavidez fight either, right? You got Jamal Charlo. Nobody knows what Jamal Charlo is going to be doing, right? We got Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant got a fight coming up. So David Benavidez, he was pretty much out there like Demetrius Andrade himself. He didn't have nobody to fight, no big name to fight. And today, I got the news that since Samson Legowicz, who is the manager of David Benavidez, he heard about the lowball offer that Demetrius Andrade received, and he says, look, we're going to offer him a fight. We're going to offer him a fight. You know, my man, David Benavidez, wants to fight, so we're going to offer Demetrius Andrade a fight with David Benavidez. Since he got lowball, you know, I heard about the lowball offer that he got, and we want to make the fight happen now with David Benavidez. We don't got nobody to fight. We want to make that fight happen. And that's some big news, y'all. That is some big news. Also, not only that, PBC, Al Haymon and the PBC, they extended an offer to Demetrius Andrade to come work with them one last time, right? Work with them. They're willing to work with Demetrius Andrade. We already know the history that Demetrius Andrade has with the PBC, right? He pulled out of a fight with Jermell Charlo the week of the fight. And when he did that, Al Haymon had to cancel the whole event. He had to cancel the whole event. So he lost money on the venue. He lost money all the way around the board. And so Demetrius Andrade had a history of just doing bad business. After that, the PBC ain't want to do no business with Demetrius Andrade since then. And they haven't done no business with Demetrius Andrade since then, right? He ended up going to DAZN. He had a whole bunch of weak-ass fights over on DAZN. He just hasn't done good business in boxing ever in his whole entire career. So like I said, the PBC was like, we don't want to mess with this dude. F him. Then you heard Steven Espinoza saying that they offered him a contract to fight Jermell Charlo not too long ago, a few years ago, and he turned that down. So Steven Espinoza was saying, we don't want to do no business with him no more ever again. I guess they had a change of hearts. I don't know if it's because of Al Haymon, and now they're extending him an offer, and they are willing to do business with Demetrius Andrade. And everybody knows that if he fights David Benavidez, it's going to have to be on PBC, most likely on Showtime. So now this fight can actually happen, right? That PBC is extending one last offer to Demetrius Andrade to do business, and Samson Legowicz, who is, once again, David Benavidez's manager, he's saying, you know what? We want to take that fight. We're going to send him an offer. So let's see if they keep their word. And both of these fighters need a big fight. Both of them do. Because David Benavidez, every year, he's searching for a big fight, and none of these guys want to fight him. So let's see if Demetrius Andrade step up to the plate, and let's see if Demetrius Andrade really want that smoke. Because the last thing that I heard from Andrade, he was calling out Chris Eubank. Now, why are you calling out Chris Eubank when you got David Benavidez that's telling you, let's make it happen, I want all the smoke? So if Demetrius Andrade don't take this offer that he's gonna get sent to him from David Benavidez's team, and he don't go do business with PBC, he might as well chunk up the deuce, because his career is done. It's finito. It's done. That's it. That's all, folks. You feel me? DAZN ain't messing with him. Top Rank ain't messing with him. Ain't nobody gonna mess with Demetrius Andrade. So this is his last chance. I advise you, Demetrius Andrade. Andrade, take this and run with it. And do I think that he could beat David Benavidez? No, I do not. I think that Demetrius Andrade's best days are behind him. His best days were at 154 and when he first moved up to 160, but he wasted his career doing bad business and fighting Rudy Poot after Rudy Poot after Rudy Poot. Y'all gotta understand, this man been a pro for 14 years, and the best fighter on his whole resume is Vanessa Monterosa. That should tell you all you need to know. But he can still fight, and this will still be a very competitive fight, even though I'm picking David Benavidez. Hopefully, he takes this offer up, and hopefully we can get this fight before the year ends, y'all. Let me know who y'all picking to win the fight, and let me know what y'all think about this whole situation. Drop a comment in the comment section, and y'all already know how I do. There you go, talking that boxing again, and I'm gone.